All right, guys, welcome back to Photographics Academy. All right, so today I'm so excited about what we're going to be creating. So I'm going to be taking you through how to do composites using Photoshop, right? As a photographer, as a beginner, as a photo retoucher, if you are still finding it difficult to use Photoshop to do your composites from the scratch, everything manually, this video is for you. I'm going to be taking you through how to, build your visuals, put props together to come up with something really, really nice. And I'm so excited because I know this particular one is going to be a mind-blowing tutorial. So this image is not mine, right? Got it from Pinterest, and I'm so excited how beautiful it's going to come out. Without wasting much of your time, let's quickly get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upscale the image because I noticed it downloaded on a very low resolution, which will not be good for us. So I'm going to go to my image, go to image size. You see, we'll have it at 72. So I'll drop this at 300. And I think my custom width and height are relatively okay for me. Then I'll press OK. Beautiful. So we'll have it like that. Okay, we can use this. The next thing I want to do is to separate the object from the background. Very, very important. You will always want to do that. Separate your object from your background. So I'll just make a selection of my subject. Beautiful. Once the selection is made, right click and go to select inverse. Now you have to take your time and make sure that your selection is perfect. Just modify your selections. So I'll just take time and go around my image. Okay, so my desk is off. My piano desk is off. Go check the legs. Make these shadows within that selection as well. Okay, I think we can work with this, but before we do that, I'm going to pinch it in a little. But okay, yeah. So I'm going to go to my select, go to modify, go to expand. Sorry, not smooth, expand, modify, expand. I'm going to be expanding it by 1 pixel like that, so that just goes in a little. Let me be sure. Beautiful. So once you are done doing that, make a duplicate of your background, right click and go to layer via cut. So we'll have our object on a separate layer now, and we'll have our background on a separate layer. Now it's time to bring in the backgrounds we want to use. So I'm going to drop my object on the very first layer, go to my background. So the first thing I want to bring in is our floor. So of course she's lying on a piano desk, and we have this open background. So we need to build the composite. The first thing we need to do is the floor. So I'm going to use my move to drag it and drop it on the image, then scale it in. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love this. It looks really good. But I feel our floor needs to have a little change in perspective, just like that. Then we still scale in. Good. Beautiful. But looking at it now, we'll have a different stuff we want to use here. What do we do with that particular area? Very simple. We need to cut it out. So I'm just going to make a selection of this area, exactly where it faded out. Then maybe put a mask there. Yeah, put a mask there. Control I to mask that area. Once that is done, I'm going to bring in the background we are going to be placing over there. Unlock it. Drag it and drop it over that particular area. Then as well scale it in to fit in. But I think I'm losing a lot of texture, so I'll hold my shift and bring it back. Now, if you look at it, it looks good but not properly blended at the edge here. So what do? We'll make sure that it is behind so that our floor will be above it. Then we'll use our brush, right? Reduce the flow of the brush and just, restore back some edges of our floor, because the edges and that particular area was evenly dark. So we can create the illusion that that particular area, look at it. See the way the edge is blending in now? we can create the illusion that that particular area is the same thing with the background, but we need to darken the background down a little. We need to darken it down because that particular area is, if you look at it, it's very dark, so it shouldn't be this bright as well. So pull it down to fit into what we have there. Cute, but this is good. Amazing. So the next thing we need to do is to create a realistic shadow for her and, make things look really, really realistic. So I'm going to first of all bring down the floor brightness a little. Yeah. Then change the blend mode to overlay. Also change this one. Okay, so I think the blend mode thing wouldn't work. Let's create the shadows manually. So I'm going to create an empty layer in between the two of them right here. Pick up my brush, make sure it's a very hard brush. Then I'm going to increase the flow. Reset your foreground and your background to a black color because that is what a shadow looks like. Then I'm going to make a black dab over here. Okay, so this should be above here. Okay. Go. Use your brush, your move tool, hold your control to reduce, to change the perspective of the brush like this. Should look like it's lying down on the floor. Like this, but I think is as well too much. So once that is done, press OK, go to your filter, go to blur, Gaussian blur. We need to blur it out very, very well. We shouldn't be seeing that over there like that. Beautiful. So once that is gone, use your brush, your move tool to drag them around, to get that beautiful shadow effect you want to have right there. Can even change the blend mode to multiply to make things even darker. So I think this works for me here, but the tip of the desk she's sitting on or lying down on is still not entirely having contact with the floor. So we'll create one more brush. Make this time around the brush to be very, very small, just enough to be the tip. I'll just make that dab over there. I'll drop it where we'll see it. Press Ctrl T, use your shift to, make it look like it's on the floor. Then drag it over. Sorry. Drag it over. I think our auto select is on. Turn it off. If yours starts behaving like that, beautiful. So we'll have it here. You can as well blur it out a little bit. Good. Press Ctrl J. Do the same thing over here. So I think another thing I can do is to move my floor around a little. So the black area comes towards this area. Now, working on our keyboard desk, what I think I can do is I can use lightning and all of that to create an illusion of a dark floor. So I will just use my curve, darken it down a bit, clip it on the desk, press Ctrl I, use my brush and just paint it over the floor area like this. Just like that, to create that effect that the light is not hitting it properly and entirely. Beautiful. So for my object, I need to push some lights into her. Press Ctrl I and just brighten her up a little, her skin especially. Then one more, her hair. I like that highlight streaks on the hair, so let's just make it stronger. Very good. Beautiful. So we can do an overall brightening of the whole set. And a little contrast. Now, if you look at the image, you cannot really concentrate on anything. You can't say that when you look at this image, the first thing you see is the lady. And I want to create that illusion that when you look at this image, the first thing you see is the lady. So what do? We'll use a distraction to break that pattern. So I'm going to come here, I think above all of this, and pick up my brush, make it a very big brush, right? And a very marble. So once you have your brush, go to your solid color adjustment layer. Make sure you are selecting pure white. That is what I want to select. Press OK. Then go to your mask, press Ctrl I. Then you can just come over here. Just enough for you to see the image, just like that. And tap the white brush. Okay, so I think our flow was too low. Dab the white brush like that. Beautiful. So I need it to be behind my object. So we'll just drag it down, all the way down behind our subject like that. Move it around a little. I like it like this, but I like it pure white. So we'll keep it pure white like that. So let's see if we can move it around and reduce the distraction, because it's also looking like it's becoming too distracting. Then we'll of course reduce it a little bit. Beautiful. So I need to color her skin tone so that she as well can draw her own attention. So to do that, I'm going to create another solid color adjustment layer above here. Go to my hue, select a very beautiful skin tone, maybe somewhere around here. Press OK, hide it, go to your image layer, which is this. Press Ctrl J. I'm going to use this one, create a mask for it, go to select color range. So this is supposed to select our skin tone for us. So we'll just make a selection of our skin tone. Once you are done, press OK. Press OK. Drag this all the way to the top where the solid color is. Then use this mask to replace that of the solid color. Now I can delete that particular layer. So once I open up my solid color, you notice that the whole solid color is now on her skin, although not entirely on her skin. So we'll just clip, or rather, yeah, we'll just clip it, or can still use it like that and just, adjust the brush, put it as soft light, and just paint into places that we didn't touch originally. So I'm noticing right now that we made a mistake in the selection we did over here. So let's go and find the layer that is with that our mistake. So we can just correct it, right? So it's not here. It's not here in there. And where is it? So I'm going to turn on the whole layers and start turning them on one by one. So what we can do with the skin right now is to just use our clone stamp and fill up the areas that we couldn't find. So I'll just use the clone stamp. I'll just use my clone stamp and
let's say that then be to this piece. Pipe down.
It was something alive here. Okay, well, good. So the last thing I'm going to do is to create a global color grading. I feel this skin tone is not yet where I want it to be. Let's create a global color grading. Email.
I know that. I just think this shop will do because house here. Several Madam Mug. And the contact front I drink spirits. The good thing pine.
So we'll just use our color lookup tables and add any color that looks nice. I think I love this. Let's reduce it. Beautiful. There's another one I saw up here. Now, this is also nice. Super beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to stick with this, reduce it a little bit. So I'm going to merge everything we have done together by pressing Ctrl Shift Alternate E. If you notice, we didn't crop the image when we started, so now I can crop using my 4x5, because I'll give it a negative space upwards like that. If it doesn't work now, then that will be the last thing we do when we are done. So I'll just use my rectangular marquee tool and fill that area up. Good. The last thing is to go to our filter, go to camera raw filter, and just push things around a little bit, reduce my highlight just slightly, open up my shadows a little, add some contrast, tone down the whole overall warmness. I think my highlight needs to push up a bit. Good. Add some haziness to the overall shot, then create a vignetting effect around it. I'm losing my dress, gonna be down a bit, and we are good to go. So let me show you the overall before and after. This is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So all you need to do is just to take your time, know what you want to do, and start building from the scratch, and you are going to come out with a very spectacular image. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you subscribe, click on the notification bell to get notified every single time we drop a new video. Until then, see you on the next one.